Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your monthly forecast. This is Nicholas Ashbaugh. So good to see everybody here today. I hope that your day has gotten off to a good start. And if you happen to be watching this live, we're actually going through a full moon today. So it's a really auspicious day to be having a reading. So thank you again for allowing me to be a part of this today. As we always begin, we'll start off with some channeled messages today, and then we'll get into all of the topics and energy that the cards want to bring through. If you've ever watched this before, you know this, but just in case, you can use this for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus, any aspect of your chart that you happen to know. And again, I'm just very happy that all of you are here today. Let's get straight into the channel messages first and foremost. Today, as I was tuning in, I was getting basically a spice. I could kind of smell pepper as I was meditating, and we're going to talk about that today. We have like different forms that you can connect to with intuition. It can be clairsentience, clairaudience. Today it was really focusing on the scent of smell, or I should say the sense of smell, and we'll talk about the peppercorn basically, or the pepper fruit. And I also want to touch a little bit on lunar energy. Later today, I may actually do a brief full moon sort of forecast, but I still want to talk a little bit about the moon and its importance since it's being a big part of today's forecast as well. All right, let's get into the first piece here. First of all, pepper when you're eating pepper, it's actually that ground up fruit. So peppercorn is actually a fruit, and it comes from a vine. And immediately the card in tarot that came to mind as I was thinking about this was the Seven of Pentacles, which typically indicates a period in your life where you're starting to stretch, grow. Oftentimes it's a recovery card. So if you've been through anything challenging either with your finances or with your health, the Seven of Pentacles can indicate that special moment where things start to take a turn for the better. But whenever we start to have improvement or growth, there's often a repeat lesson that comes through, and that's basically understanding the importance of not overextending, not rushing, and really just being able to say no. So all of these things are going to help you as you go into a month that is really opening up on expansion for you. Because it's a vine, it has the ability to reach and sometimes even go places that you haven't been able to go. So this energy is just about exploration, reaching, but also understanding the limits, understanding how far you should push yourself at any given point. So it's a gentle sort of dance, if you will. And you don't want to kind of go 110% every single day. So pacing yourself, having proper boundaries, allowing for patience, which is an important piece of growth. Whenever you're growing a flower or tending to something in your life that requires a certain amount of time to grow. For instance, if we're looking at childhood, it takes a certain amount of time for our bodies, our mind, everything to sort of mature. So you can't rush things. There are some things that need to go through phases, and you're going through this phase of growth. Because this is a spice, and is pretty universal, and so I love it when there's a totem that everybody can kind of envision. If you smell it, you sneeze sometimes, and if you put it in food, a little bit goes a long way. So this is a chance when we're looking at this sort of energy of overextension. There's just a reminder, one step at a time. Try a little bit, see how that feels. Try a little bit more. You can always give more or add more, but like when it comes to pepper, you can't take it out once you put it in. So slow, steady, and measured. That's really the energy of the Seven of Pentacles, and that's really what this is all about right now. By the way, if you kind of take that slow, steady, and measured approach, as you see here, it can go up, this vine can reach up to 10 meters or about 33 feet, so that's impressive to me. So take it slow. You're on the right path right now. This is also a time to untangle yourself from unnecessary energetic investments in your life. This could be extracurricular activities. It could be doing too much at work. It could be anything in your life where you're not allowing yourself to have that extra breathing room. Without the breathing room, without the space, you're kind of choking out growth. So this is another important piece, is to walk away from things that are kind of weighing you down or getting you tangled up in other people's problems. Pull back, focus on you, allow for some breathing room. Again, in that space, you're going to find growth. You're also going to feel a lot better because your energy is clear, calm, and collected. So one of the ways that this vine is able to spread is by sending out feelers or aerial roots. And so for you, this is a time to be proactive and assertive. And I pulled the Queen here, the Empress, to really pull in that sort of vibe of taking charge. It's also a really good time to network. Another card that I could have featured is the Ten of Pentacles here as well. And I wanted to start it off with the mention here is that you never know what's possible until you ask, whether that's asking someone out on a date, throwing your hat in for consideration for some project or opportunity, or reaching out to someone that you want to see or work or connect with on some level. Being the initiator, expressing heartfelt, gratitude and desire to work with someone. A lot of times that's all it takes. Someone just needs to sort of feel that authentic vibe. So give yourself credit, and you never know until you ask. Finally, looking at the moon, because we have to, we're in a full moon today. I wanted to see all the beautiful things that the moon does for us. Later, I will talk about the fact that it's a worm, if I do a special reading later today. But I really just wanted to focus on the energy of the moon. It's like the #1 support for this planet. Fun facts, it slowed down the rotation so that we have what we now know as like our 24-hour day. Otherwise, the Earth would have been probably rotating a lot faster, so it slowed the rotation. It also controls the ocean tides, and it provides reflection in the form of, light in the evening. So it does a lot of things that make the experience of living on this planet better. And in our own lives, we have satellites, support satellites, and this is a great time to give gratitude to those support team that you might have. And also, if you are a satellite for someone else, remembering what you're bringing to the fold, and also saving a little bit of energy and doing some things to grow and to create your own sort of movement and momentum. This is a time, because of the slowing down energy of the moon, to be present. And also in a full moon, it is good to slow down, to be present, and to really be, I would say, intentional. This is something that I've been talking about for the past couple weeks, but having a focus, having a plan, and sticking to that plan. Realize, just like the moon moves the water on this planet, your movement moves others, especially in the area of heart, and it also can give them sort of inspiration in the mind. So never underestimate your movement or your power. And as we look at the forecast in just a couple moments here, that's what we're going to be focusing on. So hopefully this gave you some things to think about today. I love that Seven of Pentacles or growth or recovery energy was a big part of this. So let's take a look at the cards now and see where the growth, see where perhaps some of the limits are, and I'm here to help you out. All right, so we're going to look at the Celtic Cross now, which can help you through the next 6 to 8 weeks. As I said earlier, you can use this for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. Let's take a look at the cards, folks, and see what's coming through. Kind of fun to do this in the afternoon. I normally do it in the morning, but I had some appointments the past couple of days that I had to take care of, so I had to move the appointment. So thanks for being patient. All right, let's see what's coming through for you. We're using a new deck. You can find all the decks on my website. There's a link in the chat. Let's give this another shuffle. I usually don't use black and white ones, but this is really beautiful. The images on these cards are gorgeous. Okay. Let me expand the forecast and then we'll begin. Hopefully everybody's doing well. We're looking at the month of April. You can also look at this month's forecast. It's already on the main channel page. I always like to work 1 month in advance. A lot of what you see here will be, in fact, useful in this very moment because, especially the stuff in the deep past and recent past, it's affecting your current movement, which is why I like to do these early for you so you have a chance to do some real-time adjustments. Let's see, I think we got 2 that stuck together. Cool. We have 2 interesting energies here too with it's basically the 3rd and 2nd chakras coming through as places to focus. All right, let's get everything set up so you can see it. And your catalyst today is the Ram, perseverance here, it says you have many gifts, no problem that can withstand the power of your mind. With patience, you can reach your mountaintop, which is something that we talked about. Never give up, and good luck will follow. The card was reversed. So this is really about you embracing your power, suffice it to say. So again, you have many gifts. One of the things I would say with the many gifts is to never sell yourself short, and perhaps just to really focus, like the magician has all of the elements in front of him, focus on where you can make the biggest impact. And really go into the power of your intellect here. It says, no problem can withstand the power of your mind, which means basically you can think your way through any issue. If I were creating this deck, I would say shorter sentences. So the shorter sentences here are, you are multi-talented. Your mind, you can think your way through anything, basically. And patience is key. Patience is the key to success, and that's really what we talked about earlier. I love the ram here, and I love the sort of playful energy that we see with this ram too. He's like, bring it on, we can do this. All right, let's focus on the centermost cards. That, by the way, the catalyst helps you stay in control, helps you create action and movement in your life. So the not giving up energy of perseverance is what we'll be focusing on. Let's take a survey of the cards really quickly, and then we'll go one by one. So I always like to look at these two. There's a momentary delay, but it's going to bring you a sense of organization, purpose, and you're being asked to think outside of the box. That's one message here. I also see success at hand for you. So there's some delays, but some importance, I would say some important things that are coming through as you slow down, which was a big part of today's message. All right, now let's take it card by card, beginning with the center. We have the King of Pentacles smack dab in the center. And what's kind of cool about this is it's almost like he's in a reveal moment. So if we look at this in the upright position, we can see him pulling back the robe, almost like a wizard. And there's power, there's a secret, there's something that he's ready to share with the world. Just like the Queen of Pentacles can be working on something, this is a reveal moment. It's saying, I'm excited to share this, or to reveal this, or to let this sort of come into fruition. So for some of you, you're kicking off something big this month. The reversal of this card is saying, take care of yourself. If you need help, if you need support, if you feel like you're not being recognized or given that sort of energy of support that you need, ask for it. As I said in the cards, you never know, or in the sort of like slides that I did earlier, you never know until you ask. And sometimes the difference between successful and unsuccessful people, I really don't believe in unsuccessful, let's just say people that are creating traction, is that they are more vocal, that they kind of dust themselves off after a failure and try to work with that and think, well, what did that do? And so there's proactive energy, there's assertive energy, and there's vocalization. So if you can do that, that's really what this guy is saying. Make some noise if you need to. And it's not about complaining either. It's really just about articulating needs, articulating where there's frustrations, and quantifying that in something that, making sure that it's constructive. That's the difference between complaining and informing. So really inform, bring what you need to the table, and you might be surprised at what you get here. We have the Six of Cups, which is friendship, which is, yes, I can help you out, which is someone that is receiving and open to what it is that you have to say. But notice how the Six of Cups is illustrated in the mind on this. So it's really important to connect heart and mind both to the person, to the party that you're trying to get something from or to convey something to. You really want to get in their headspace in a good way. Empathy, basically, is what this is. So sometimes, like when I'm scanning the comments too, you'll see someone that starts off with gratitude. It's so much easier to get into that comment than maybe someone that just spouts out vitriol, kind of like just complaints or whatever. So it's always good to begin with heartfelt gratitude, empathizing in someone's current position, seeing how they are, truly kind of taking a pulse and saying, is this a good time to talk? And then remembering what your shared interests are, really bringing them into the fold of your energy. And that's what we've got here. Someone who gets the other person. So you have the potential to have someone in your presence that's trying to do that for you. You can also pull someone in. Six of Cups can be love. It can be also this really sort of fraternal energy, brotherly, sisterly energy, where you meet someone and you just feel like your family. And it can be someone in either the deep past of this life or other lifetimes, karmic partnerships. But you have good partnership energy. Suffice it to say, the The Cliff's Notes version of this is ask for what it is that you need. Start that off though with empathy and with understanding the other party, and you have a good chance of getting what you asked for. You might also meet someone really special this month. It could be a friend, it could be a love interest. The Six of Cups is good no matter how you look at it. So you have a very attractive energy. 2 sixes here. Success in the Six of Wands and friendship or partnership in the Six of Cups. So I like this quite a bit, folks. All right, let's focus on deep past. What's the opportunity that you're bringing into this month? And how are you tracking on it? We have the Chariot in reverse. So this time the Chariot's actually in the sky, which I like. Things are taking flight this month. With the card in reverse, you may, if you're not sort of like paying attention to what you've promised to do, what's going on around you, you may find that there's a little bit of catch up that you have to do at the beginning of the month. So there's a lot of moving parts. Make sure that you understand what you've signed up to do, how you're tracking with the goals, and also if there's other things that need to be attended to. So basically just keep track of your obligations and make sure that you start the month off very aware and check those things off the list so that later you'll have some time to breathe, to enjoy, and to see what else is coming through. This is also a card of control. So if there's something that's important to you and you haven't had your say or had a chance to sort of like share input, this is really about taking the reins back and saying, this matters to me, or I really want to give this a shot. And there's usually a good chance of getting it with the Chariot. This isn't reaching all the way to the top. This is just saying, you know what, I've let this slide or I haven't focused on this. It's a priority now. And once you get that priority taken care of, again, we start to see some really cool things happen, beginning with the High Priestess here. She came through reverse, but she's nonetheless one of the most powerful cards that I could pull in any spread in any position. Notice how this one we see a door behind her. So there is a time element to what's going on right now. You're manifesting something quickly. And if you delay on this sort of intuitive vibe that you're getting, like I need to call this person, or I should apply for this job, or I want to ask this person out, anything of that nature, if you delay too much, someone else steps in and then they capitalize on that, because multiple people are, I'm doing a collective, well, a mini collective here per sign. So everybody that's watching this has a similar opportunity. So what happens with this is one door will close, but then another will open. So you're in a month where there is a time element to your manifestation. If you miss something, focus on what you can create next. You're very much in the flow. So even when you miss something, you learn something from it. You learn how your intuition works. And then you think, all right, next time I'm going to be more tuned in and I'll act quicker, more quickly. Don't doubt yourself. If you need to do something, do it. Find the balance that's necessary in your life. We see that yin and yang right at the center. We also see the keys right here too. So you have the key, just like the Ram card said, to think your way through any problem. It didn't say it so articulately, but it said no problem can withstand the power of your mind. You can think your way through this. And you can see your way out of any challenging situation. One thing that I like about the High Priestess in reverse is she's persuasive. So couple her with the King of Pentacles in the center. And again, there's a way to really get people excited or pulled into your perspective, and your persuasive quality is on a high. You're already there because you're air and you have the ability to see from multiple viewpoints. And sometimes, Gemini, you get a hard time because, people will say, you can go in any direction, but I think that's actually your biggest strength, is your ability to see a bird's eye view. So use that this month. And when it comes to a persuasive conversation or argument, you can actually say, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I also thought about this, but after doing a lot of research and looking in every direction, this is what I landed on, and this is why. And this is why you should listen. Because you've shown that you've seen it, you understand it, you get it. Use your bird's eye view as a strength, and let other people sort of know that they can count on you because you're considering it from multiple angles. I really am excited about your cognitive abilities coming through this month. This Six of Cups is saying it's your mind and your heart that's getting people sort of, they're vibing with you because of that. So never sell that short, and really embrace your ability to articulate and pull someone else in with that articulation. All right, what we have in the crowning position is a wake up. wake up call, an awakening. We have the Eight of Swords. It is reversed. It's auspicious when it's reversed because it's basically taking those blindfolds off. And this Eight of Swords is an interesting illustration. It's almost as if this person, it kind of reminds me of like a corkscrew, but they're coming out of it. So the interesting thing is when you start to wake up, it's just like when you wake up in the morning. You're a little groggy. The vision's a little blurry. Your balance is off a little bit. So I'd love for you this month. This is why it was important to talk about slowing things down. Take an extra step or two mentally when it comes to your research, just when it comes to time in general. Don't rush. Look through a document one more time. Practice a speech one more time. Take a look one more time before you hit the accelerator. Whatever it is that you need to do, just pause one more moment and really be intentional about the movement. And that's going to help you because you're waking up, and in waking up, you see things a little bit differently and you're a little foggy initially. So breathe, focus on what it is you're trying to do, and be present. That's the only thing that can pull you out of your power this month, is not being present or sweeping something under the rug. If you feel it, if you see it, you have to acknowledge it. You have to do something about it. And if you slow down enough, you can also see new opportunities that are ripe for the picking. Yeah, this is a really cool deck. Sometimes it's fun to work with black and white because we're just focusing on the energy, right? So from time to time, I don't use this every single reading, but it's a new deck and I really wanted to use it for you today. All right, this is one of the coolest Hanged Mans because it's upright, but the card's upside down. It plays a trick on you. So what this is really about is looking at the world from another perspective. So here's the highway, right side up, but the Hanged Man is actually, the way it's printed is upside down. So there is a perception that needs to be shifted. And sometimes this can only happen when you take a moment to look back, look up, look in all directions. So all of this presence of mind that we're talking about, this is key too. And I'd love for you to think of, all right, so this didn't work or this may not, what's my contingency plan? What else might there be? Really look beyond the first obvious choice. And this is, again, the Hanged Man is just about slowing down. And it doesn't necessarily mean that anything is wrong. In fact, there's power associated with this when you go into the mythology. The reason in the typical one that we would see someone hanging from a tree is it harkens back to Odin. So basically, he sacrificed some time and some energy to learn the secret of the runes. So sometimes something's revealed to you when there's what you would think an inconvenient delay or some sort of a block, but it's actually helping you see something differently. So it could be the beginning or the midpoint of the month based on where this is positioned. There's one or two little delays, but they're actually kind of like in a pinball machine where you're taking one of the levers and pushing the ball in the right direction. So they're just kind of realigning you to an appropriate direction. So slow down and be grateful for the delay as best you can, because you're coming through with the energy of success. So when we look at you this month, we have the Six of Wands, and this is how you're being perceived. This is like an actress on the stage, it looks like, or a dancer on the stage. So the interesting thing for those of you that are in the performing arts, I'm sure you've experienced this, even if you've given a speech, when the lights are bright, you can't see everyone out there. You kind of go into a place where you're just kind of in your head and channeling. And so this month, you're most powerful when you're not focusing on each and every person in the audience. Obviously, you want to make sure that this is going to connect. But your power is the message. Your power is the belief in the message. And your power is sometimes leading the charge before the people even show up. So there can sometimes be a loneliness when you're in the Six of Wands, but eventually doing the right thing consistently and persistently and having that perseverance here pays off, and people see the hard work and you get the acclaim sooner or later. And it really kind of depends on what your higher self is trying to call in this moment. But ultimately, you show up with the energy of success, which I like. Do it for you. That's my sort of Cliff's Notes version of this. Do it for you, not so much for the acclaim, for the applause, for the recognition. It comes naturally, but first you feel it, and it's the authenticity that other people vibe off of, right? Let's look at what's going on around you. Things are happening quickly. This is where you need to slow down. Okay. So the Knight of Swords is one of the fastest cards in tarot. Even though it is not in the majors, it's still fast. This is the speed card. When the card is reversed, it's saying slow it down a little bit. It's also showing you that if there is a contract in front of you, don't be afraid to revise it. So if you're signing a contract for a house, for a job, for a marriage, for anything, take a look and make sure that you're completely on board, on the same page, literally with the other person, and get a second set of eyes if you need to. It's a great time to edit, revise, or adjust your overall direction. And it also says that if you slow down a little bit now and fix something, you got two cards saying to slow down. The Hanged Man or the Hanged One. It's basically saying slow it down, look at it from another angle. This one is saying based on the insight, the wisdom, and the guidance that you receive here, put it into practice, edit it, change, pivot a little bit, and then because you've taken the time now to do that, everything's going to benefit. Knights, when they reverse, fix something now that saves oceans of time later. So I'll say it one more time. Any delay is a blessing. It's going to help you 2 or 3 or 4 months from now. Okay? So just deal with whatever it is that you need to deal with in real time. What do we have here as an opportunity? A pretty darn good card, folks. We have the Nine of Cups. This is celebration. This is an energetic and an emotional high. This is something really coming to fruition. One thing that I would say with this is sometimes the extreme can take us off course just a little bit. So it's upright, so it's usually a high, but whether it's a high or a low, the Nine of Cups can be either, depending on placement and if it's upright or reversed. There's just a general note to try to ground yourself a little bit in either state, because we spend most of our time in life, I should say, kind of going to those high points or coming off a high point. And if you're at the low point, you know that you're usually headed back up. So there's always you spend more time moving between points than you spend at the point. So that I would say, drink it in, enjoy, and then just try to go about like business as usual after that. Definitely have your celebration, have your moment in the sun, and then don't worry if there's some, ups and downs or some plateaus. That's life after that. So something to celebrate, but don't let it get to your head. Do, however, be present and enjoy. Whenever we see 3 of Cups, 2 of Cups, 6 of Cups, or 9 of Cups, it's time to celebrate. And you got 2 of those. So I'm happy for you. And I think it's just a good time to spend with people that you love this month, because this can be someone that you love. And this is a really great connection when that happens. What's it all about? Well, we have the Wise One or the Hierophant in this deck. Basically, they avoid gender in all of the cards here, which is cool. But so we have the Wise One here sitting around the fire, talking, sharing stories. With the card in reverse, what we see here is that you may find that the roles have been reversed. And before my mom passed, I had some of this in my life where I was doing a lot more for her. And those of you that have elderly parents, I'm sure you've experienced this, where it's like all of a sudden they're asking you for advice, or you have to check up on them, or you might feel like you're nagging. In a relationship, you may feel like you're sort of like pulling in maternal or paternal energy for the partner. There could be all kinds of weird things where the tables are turning or the roles are flipping. If you like it, fine. If you don't, you can always decide to pull back a little bit. This is also thinking about things from a not such a boxed in perspective, because the Hierophant is typically very, my way or the highway sort of energy. And I would say we can think beyond that in this moment in time. We can think more expansively. We can think about sort of just being a little bit more rebellious in your approach. And I think that's going to be advantageous in this moment in time. All right, let's go ahead now, and we're going to expand this forecast a little bit further. We're going to look at it from the perspectives of health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning with health, which comprises mind and body, and of course, spirit. So many of you are experiencing heightened empathy, heightened sensitivity. This card reads, I'm open to seeing from both sides of an equation or a situation. And lo and behold, crossing the center card was this beautiful 6 of Cups, where we focused a lot on empathy, on understanding it. And not only that, but the Hanged One or the Hanged Man, focusing on seeing the world from a different point of view. Not only that, but your crowning card, which is about opening your mind and opening your eyes to something that maybe you weren't able to see before. It's all about opening or seeing or perceiving from a different point of view. Now, empathy is both a beautiful gift, but it can also be a very challenging one for those of you that are experiencing this, because there was a line in Constantine where it's sort of like once you see them, they see you. It's the same sort of thing here. Once you're tapped in, you can't unsee things and you're kind of connected. So empathy kind of makes you clean up your life and the way that you treat other people, because you can feel almost in real time sometimes your effect on others. It also makes you clean up your group of friends and the activities that you're involved with, because people that you hang out with, things that you consume, they also have like a real-time effect on you. So the more positive energy you put out there, the better you feel, because you're kind of like it's like the moon, it's reflecting back onto you. So this is a month where you really want to level up, elevate, and kind of put yourself in that higher energy, lead by example. Clear out, prune out, separate yourself from anything that isn't of that higher energy. And it becomes at a certain point almost like a new program. Okay? So very esoteric, very energetic when we're looking at the health message. Let's see if there's some other things to focus on. I need to go back to I had my eye appointment. I just need to bring my frame so that they can put new prescriptions in. But for some of you, it's time to get an eye or ear exam whenever the Eight of Swords comes through, so you could look at that. Again, standard disclaimer applies on this. I'm not a doctor, but I'm looking at energy and things that often come through when I look at these energetic markers. If you may sense something before someone else does, either intellect or intuitively or in your body. So you might need to work with someone who's a little bit more open-minded when it comes to that. You're very tuned into your body right now, which is a good thing. The Hanged Man or Hanged One is basically saying slow down so that you don't trip, so that you don't make a mistake. Also pay special attention to your feet and ankles. It would be a good time to get some new shoes if you've been wearing the same old pair for a while. The Chariot in reverse and the Hanged Man are also saying slow down when you're driving. This will be helpful for any number of reasons, but it's just safer. And again, I feel like there's a lot of things that you can avoid. Notice how we don't have a Ten of Swords here. As long as you heed the warning to slow down, I don't feel like there's anything necessarily challenging that needs to happen. But the message is don't speed, don't go too fast, be present. There's a lot of, some of you are just feeling that there's a lot of eyes on you, because Six of Cups and Six of Wands, success and attention. I think you can use that in either way. Like some of you may just be a little bit more hermit-like, but the energy is really trying to put you out there. So I feel like there's growth opportunities. But if you're shy or if you're not comfortable in the spotlight, that's something that you can work on a little bit. And then, as I said earlier, punctuated highs or lows for some of you. Not everyone is going to understand you. The one thing that I get here with this Wise One reversed is saying that, you're kind of like the first in your generation to do something or break the mold or to think differently. And that's okay. That's your special thumbprint on the world. So don't worry so much about trying to make everyone happy around you. You feel, you see, and you live in a way that maybe they just don't get. But at the end of the day, most of these cards are pretty good. And I like that. It's just about slowing down, being present. And I think that's going to be the best thing in this moment in time for all of you. All right, let's focus now on wealth, looking at the resources of time and energy, also life purpose, and for those of you that are working, what's coming through with the career. All right, so we have this spiritual abundance card, and it says, thank you for blessing me with abundance. Many of you may have a hard time seeing yourself as blessed because the card was reversed, so you may even say, I don't have luck with this, or I am cursed in this. Let's not use that language. Let's instead say, I'm working to overcome a block here, and I'm feeling excited about how to do that. Like you can acknowledge that there's been blocks or there's been setbacks, but you can say I'm turning a new corner. And that's really what's happening. I am blessed, even by the block. It was a blessing for me because I needed to sit for a moment and understand something. But with this, the abundance comes when you tap into what's authentic and exciting to you. As many of you know, there'll be several months of planning involved with this, but later this year, there'll be a podcast. As I'm kind of ramping up and figuring out what I want to do on it, One of the biggest things whenever it's a project that you're writing or if you're talking to someone, it's who and what excites you. Because when you're excited and engaged, so are people around you. So that's kind of how I'm using my own internal compass. If I really connect with someone, chances are people that listen to me would too. Just like if I really like a deck, you probably would too. If I don't, you probably won't. So use your inner knowing and what really feels intriguing, exciting, engaging, whatever moves you. That's what's going to be important, and that's where the abundance comes. If you're moved, you're moving. If you're bored, you're stagnating, and it's not going to be where your power is, right? Let's look and see what's going on with work and with money and with life purpose. Like I said, if you ask, if you're willing to put yourself out there and say, I'm worth it, let's do this, then you have a really good chance of getting what you want. But there is a request that needs to be done, and then people may need to get some clarity. Well, walk me through that. Help me understand that. You have the capacity to do it. This is such a gorgeous card. If it was on a t-shirt, I would buy it, right? And it needs to be like the cover of a book. It's super cool. I like it. And so that's where your power, though, is helping people get in where your headspace is. So be the visionary and tell a story and pull them in. Storytelling is a good piece of things. That's why sometimes I'll talk about personal stories, but only after we've gotten through the work here. But it is a nice way to let people know that you've been through a similar situation. Creativity is running high. Some of you may not be able to, again, execute on that creativity, the High Priestess. So this is a time to find a place where it is received if it's not where you're at. Can you grow where you are? Not as quickly as you may want to. That's one thing that I'm seeing here. We have the Hanged Man in the near future. Next 2 to 3 months, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown. I see someone here is looking for a certain level, whether it's age, experience, or education. And that's not saying that you're not a match, but they're very specific in what they're looking for. So career-wise, I told you, you may need to find a place where it's more open. But for you, having fun, speaking up, speaking out, and by the way, just this general energy of success that surrounds you and it's kind of around you, that eventually can break through. Do the work, do the best possible work, and if it still isn't resonating with the powers that be, then these aren't the powers that you need to be with. You can connect with someone else when it comes to work, and that's up to you. Let me see what else is coming through here. Okay, part of what you might be doing is asking questions. So there's a curiosity that comes with the Eight of Swords reversed, which is, why can't I? Why can't we? Why aren't we? Why isn't this working? Especially with the blindfolds coming off. And that's a good question. These are good questions to ask. Some places don't want to hear those questions, but I like that some of you are ready to ask the big questions. But ultimately, you are symbolized by the Six of Wands, which is success. You have the ability to get people connected to your vision, and being outspoken is going to be beneficial this month. So those are the areas where you can really see some growth and movement. If you're trying to find a job, talk to people that you know already. Networking is key. If you're not able to get where you want to be where you're at, maybe there's a different place to be. When we're slowed and blocked, we're usually being redirected. It took me a while to figure that out, but once I did, it helped me quite a bit. So that's my advice here. If you're retired or unemployed or just not focusing so much on career right now, when I'm looking at personal development, what I see is intuitive development. I see wanting to take a little bit more time and just enjoy life. So maybe a holiday or vacation. Some writing is coming through for some of you, and really trying to get yourself back to that happier version of yourself. So all of that, being present, connecting with others, slowing down, I like it. It will help you. And surprisingly, people may pull you into new opportunities just as you sort of slow down and vibe with yourself a bit. All right, let's move on to the energy of love and relationships. This, just as the card, or just as this title says, can be multifaceted. Sorry, I just lost a card. So this can be basically the love interest of your life, family members, or friends. And let's take a look at the card and see what it is. So the first piece is calling back your power. and this would be solar plexus energy. I have a little bit of that on my sweater today. So for some of you, the hardest thing could simply be speaking your truth, saying no, walking away, putting some sort of a limit in place. But when you do that, you've got your power back, you've got your voice back, you have your energy back, and that is not to be underestimated. So speak up, speak out, ask for what it is that you need. That's part of this. Say no, say when. That's part of this as well. The good news is if people love you unconditionally, which we see here, then they have a very good chance of wanting to make you happy and you'll be successful. So all the cards support the power energy of this. It's just a matter of getting it out. And so the throat is an area too that you might want to work on, just activating the throat chakra through like breathing exercises, speaking to your friends, singing. There's a lot of different things you can do to activate this. All right, right underneath this card, we have the second chakra coming through us. And this is something that's shamed and pushed under the rug. And so it's saying my sexuality is sacred. Sexuality is expression at its core. It's an expression of love and it's an expression of self, right? And so if it's authentic, then it's just expression, folks, and it's good. And if it's received positively, it's good. And I think if we all focused a lot less on judging that and more about like focusing on what you can do, what you can make an impact on rather than this, that would be key. But if we take this just as an expression card, which is kind of what I'm doing, whether that's what you choose to wear, how you choose to present yourself, what you want to do in the world, it's all an expression of your authentic self. And when people love you unconditionally, as many people do, then you're fine, okay? So focus more on the people that celebrate that unconditional love and focus less on the people that can't. It's also here, rejection being a form of protection. People that don't get you or don't get whatever it is that you are doing in your life, they're just not ready yet to receive that higher energy, okay? Let's take a look now at how this is going to break down for those in love, those seeking a relationship or partnership, and those that are happily single. If you're in a current relationship, and you can look at this beyond love, this can be your best friend, your sister, your boss, whoever you think about the most. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the relationship dynamics there. So, interesting stuff. I feel like I'm going to focus first on this, the Eight of Swords in reverse. One or both of you feel like the other party just doesn't get it. There's something that isn't being seen or expressed. So there may be a better way to express or communicate, and it could be nonverbal. What I'm getting at here, though, is that some of you may have no problems when it comes to physical connection. So that's cool. So there's chemistry. The sex looks good here, but what's missing comes out of the bedroom. How to sort of have a day-to-day conversation, or how to maybe sort of get back into kind of just being there for one another. So what I would focus on is, first of all, letting one another know that you're in it to win it. This is a relationship where both of you can succeed and share the spotlight, that you got together because you saw more. It's the mind, body, spirit card here as well. But this is one of the best partnership cards I could actually pull. So the Six of Cups is best friends and lovers, for those of you where this is a romantic lover. But for the rest of you, it's just like best friends and unconditional love. So these two cards show me that as long as you stick to this, you'll succeed. What's getting in the way? Well, one person has a lot easier time maybe taking, or the other party gives too much, and there's something that's coming out of that where it's reclamation of power. Balance of power is the main thing here. You have the ability to convey whatever it is that you need to, slow down just a little bit, be more present, have some fun, really enjoy each other's presence, and speak more. Really communication, open communication, and non-critical. And if it is critical, it has to be constructively critical. And you both get to be the boss. It's not like there has to be one person that's calling all the shots, taking turns, like wearing different hats. I think that's the key thing here that's coming through for existing relationships. It boils down to power dynamics. And the interesting thing is chemistry can be there, but sometimes communication isn't. Or vice versa. Maybe you're communicating, but the chemistry is not there. Something's off, and that needs to be focused on right now. Okay. Let's take a look at what else is coming through. Can you get through all of this? Yeah, just slow down and think outside of the box. And there might just be something that came to light that was unexpected. Shifting gears here for those of you that are looking for love this month. Absolutely, you can find it. You're manifesting it already here in real time here. Sorry, I just wanted to take my picture off. So yeah, we have the High Priestess here manifesting it. We have King of Pentacles energy coming in and a little bit of a delay here, but it's worth the wait because this is, like I said, one of the best love cards or partnership cards that I could pull. You will not be able to necessarily see all aspects of this person coming in. There's something that the universe wants you to be a little bit surprised. So even for those of us that are really good mediums and really tuned in, when it comes to aspects of your own life, you don't always get the time or the place. You may get the person. You may not even get the face. Sometimes I can see certain attributes of people coming into my life, like place of origin or function or whatever, but I'm not shown how I'm going to meet them or when, because the universe doesn't want to give away the last page of the book sometimes. And if I knew all of that when I met them, I would be biased and I wouldn't be able to like have a normal connection and think like, oh, this is the one. Oh, okay. So just allow for a happy surprise. Even when you're highly intuitive, the universe sometimes wants you to just experience something for the first time and it doesn't want to give away everything. But from what I see, it could be a happy surprise because this is love and joy, this is success, and this is being overjoyed. So it's fun. Slow down, focus on some other stuff. Definitely do some networking and hanging out with friends. And when you least expect it, the person comes through. And they may not be exactly your traditional type, and it may not be exactly how or when you wanted it, but it could be exactly what your mind, body, and spirit called in. So give it some time. Don't discount someone immediately. Even if we're looking at new friends coming into your life, there's something unexpected, something a little bit of a curveball about this, but I like it. All right, for those of you that are single and happy, it's a good time to be single and happy. I see leaps and bounds coming through when we're looking at the energy of business and personal development. So King of Pentacles reverse, really focusing on taking care of himself. Six of Cups, meeting a lot of new people, also a lot of people getting excited about what you're doing, which then manifests the Six of Wands. Things are going to happen quickly for you. So if you'd been waiting, this is the interesting thing. When you stop focusing on the deadline, on the timeline, it just shows up, whatever it is that you're trying to do. And then you've already focused your energy on something else. So you just need to pivot a little bit and be patient. And I see some cool things happening, some celebrations and some new friends or people coming into your life. Lots of personal development and definitely an uptick when it comes to either the resources, money, or opportunities that you have in your life. So it's a good month overall for everybody here. All right, let's now focus on the Destiny card. It's the overall trajectory. Where are you headed? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Let's take a look. For Destiny, we have, I'm open to seeing both sides. Oh, sorry, that was this. It's completion. So completion actually does help. It wasn't just accidental here. Both sides of the situation, sometimes we forgot about like why we got started in something. And I'm looking at this like a big old ace. So we see in life something coming to fruition. This is very much like the Judgment card, by the way. So Judgment is like graduation. Graduation can be really exciting, but it can also be a little bit sad because it's both the end of something and the beginning of a new phase. So here we see the symbol of someone that has passed, but this can also represent how we feel when we're just about ready to let go of a phase of our life. So I mentioned students. So if you've gone to school for 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, however many years you've been in school, it becomes a big chunk of your life. And then when you let go of that, it's like, okay, now what? And same thing happens like when it's, your first day in a new job, your first day in a relationship, your first day out of a relationship, your first day without someone that you care about a lot in your life. All of these things are adjustment periods. But what we see here is you're being guided. You are also, even here, we see the growth right above the grave here. Something is coming through after this old door is closed. And the High Priestess is sitting here with the keys saying, when you're ready, I have something better, or I have an upgrade for you. So always put this out there this month anyway, that I'm ready for something even better. Okay, that's gone and that's past and this is about to finish. Let's see what else is available. All of this and better. I can find something new. I can create something new. You are the source. That's what you want to remind yourself this month. Okay? Let's do a single card pull for the big idea. And this is one thing that's just going to help you across the board. So the big idea for you this month is just going to be like your North Star. So let's see what your North Star has to say. Queen of Pentacles. It's reversed, but auspicious here because we also got the King here. So we see for some of you this beautiful divine partnership that could be coming in. Again, in the form of a friend, a colleague, or a love interest. But let's talk about the Queen of Pentacles. And let's look at this particular illustration while I take a drink here. All right, so this is really cool because look, she's kind of pulling something out of this, this old box, this storage box. And I feel like for many of you this month, this is about rediscovering value, worth, or abilities. Sometimes we've been told in our lives to lock something away. And I used examples before, like when you're a kid, sometimes people are always going, shh, keep it down, don't talk, keep your voice down. Or let's say you want to do something cool in your life and your parents or your teachers say, well, you're not going to be successful at that. You got to focus on something practical. What are you going to make money at? So what we're going to do is throw all of that stuff to the curb. I want you to go back into your soul chest here, your store of dreams, and remember what you wanted to do before people told you couldn't do it. And then do it anyway. Of course, within reason here. We're talking, though, about like dreams, big soul dreams for this planet that you really want to accomplish before you leave. So you and only you get to decide if it makes sense. The other people were giving their opinion. So I want you to revisit a soul path and think about something that you had discounted because mom, sister, brother, teacher, friend, somebody in your life said, I don't think you should do that. That was just one opinion. So recalibrate. Again, asking for what it is that you need. Also, nurturing yourself. This, along with the Empress card, is symbolic of birthing, motherhood, and also caretaking. So when the card is reversed, it's saying, nurture yourself, mother yourself, take care of yourself, focus on personal development. The personal development will then pay off in ways that you may not even imagine in the coming months, but what we see here is success and friendship. And so give yourself what you need to get that sort of foundation so you'll be able to manifest and enjoy all those things when they come in. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at sun, rising, and moon messages. This is going to help you get a little bit more clarity and fidelity when it comes to this aspect of your chart. All right, so Gemini, let's take a look at sun, rising, and moon. Okay, we got 2 for sun, and I'm going to leave it that way. We actually got the sun for the sun, which is so cool. All right, so sun, rising, oh, these are beautiful, and moon. Okay, so let's break it down one by one. All right, so for the most of you who are here, this is going to apply. This is Gemini sun. Well, we got the sun. Underneath the sun, we have the 10 of swords. This is one of the nicest 10 of swords that I've ever seen. But let's look at these cards a little bit closer and really appreciate the imagery here. So the sun, this represents birthing, beginnings. Also here we can see greener pastures if you look really closely at that sun. And so this is, and also look at all the growth on this beautiful card. It's basically almost like a bulb, right, planted in the ground. So as we look at what's beneath it, from the ashes comes all of that growth. You've been through a challenging situation, Gemini, many of you here. And the 10 of swords brought you pain, but it also brought you wisdom, as evidenced by the owl. And actually, as I say that, I get a little bit of an activation in the tear duct. So I know many of you have been through something that was upsetting, and it's okay. It does create empathy. It gives you the ability to understand pain, loss, challenge, and then also understand the antithesis of that. So what the beauty of this is that pain has another side, which is joy. And the two sides, they help you understand the importance of the other. So when you go through a great disappointment, a great setback, or a great loss in your life, then when the joy comes in again, it's like, oh my God, I'm awake again. I can feel this again. This is where I needed to be, and you don't take it for granted. So we're already entering into the energy of that, the sun. There's a little bit of healing that needs to be done. Talk to somebody. This is a wise, sage-like card. So you may benefit from talking to a therapist, a counselor, or a friend that's been through something similar to you. And really look at yourself and look at how you've gotten through this, and never second guess or underestimate your power, your potential, or your beauty. All right? Whatever you've been through, it's opening up beautiful new doors and opportunities on the future here. Okay, nice messages, actually. Let's move on to rising. Celebration. I mentioned a couple of the celebration cards. This is one of them. So 3 of Cups, 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, 6 of Cups. You got the 3 and the 6 of Cups and the 9. So the 6 of Cups, best friends, really close connections. 9 of Cups, jubilation, having a really good time at a party. 3 of Cups, having a really good time at a party. So I could see something great coming through this month. And rising and ascendant hits the areas of school, work, public sort of circles. So you'll either be recognized or you're recognizing someone around you. You could meet someone. For those of you that are single and looking, the 3 of Cups is good. For those of you looking for a job, go anyway, even if this is not your number one thing that you want to do, because you might also meet someone that could help you find a future job. There are no accidents, and what we see here is you're networking, you're socializing, and you're celebrating energy, bringing in new things. Celebratory energy, maybe. But anyway, 3 of Cups is a pretty good card. In the upright position, I don't really feel like I need to give any warnings. The only thing that I would ever say with 3 of Cups is that we talked about the spice earlier, pepper. A little goes a long way. Try not to overdo it. You did get both the 9 and the 3 here. So when it comes to drinking, celebrating, spending, or reacting, try not to overdo any of those areas. Just pull it back a half step, and that's going to serve you well. Okay? All right, let's take a look now at Moon. For Moon, we have the 9 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Pentacles is reversed. This is such a good card to come through, whether it's upright or reversed. 9 of Pentacles is slow and steady and self-sufficient and abundant and very independent. She's holding a bird. There's nary a snail to be found on this one, but typically there's a snail. The snail just means that good things come to those that wait. What I like about this is she's listening to her intellect. She's listening to the world around her. She's very tuned in, and the slowness is kind of just, you can infer it from that illustration that she's taking her time. This is one step away from acceleration and expansion. So enjoy a lull if you have one, a plateau if you have one, because the 10 of Pentacles brings a lot of people, a lot of focus, a lot of movement. So what we see here is the calm before a good sort of storm, but there's some movement on the horizon. Take care of yourself, enjoy this time, and if you're already entering into the movement, take a little bit more time for yourself. She is reversed, so she's saying, I need just a moment more to collect my thoughts. This is a great card also to remind you that even if you can do everything on your own, you don't necessarily have to do everything on your own. So there's an importance to sort of like letting people in, letting them experience part of this, and I think that's going to be the key to your success. So yeah, slowing down, being present is definitely really important here. And yeah, I'm looking at what someone wrote in chat. You know, what I would say is even if there isn't joy in the moment, there is joy on the horizon, and there also is such great soul growth that happens. I am a completely different person after having lost both parents. I'm much kinder, I'm much more present, I celebrate the moment much more, and I don't take a single person for granted in my life. And so I wouldn't take back the experience of loss because it made me a better person. So we can't always see it when we're going through it, right? But whatever it is, whether it's injury, financial loss, a loss of a loved one, or loss of time, it will then accentuate and spice up the future when something great happens. And that's one message that we can all celebrate this month. Okay, I think we're pretty much at the end here, but there's one more thing that I want to do here, which is help you focus on the kind of like maybe one aspect of the surprise with the 8 of Swords. So as a reader's choice, just one little sneak peek into this, which is what should you be open to be surprised in a positive way? Like what's coming through, some good news. Show us some good news and something to celebrate. expansion. And we're looking through the keyhole here, and it's almost like birth and rebirth. What a beautiful world card here. So this is a chance for something new, something bigger, something better. And the world card is beyond expectations. So also allow yourself to look beyond borders and not to kind of box yourself in too much. So I do see there could be news from afar. There could be, for those of you that are trying to broadcast, release, or send something out into the world, something really beautiful about that. And this is, nicely aligned with the sun card that we got for sun sign, because we see the birthing energy here. So this is a cool month for you, I have to say. A cyclical shift, something ending, something beginning. And yes, the universe is saying, I'm only going to show you this part of it right now. Just keep your eyes open, keep your heart open as well. All right, we're going to quickly meditate, and then we're going to look at a final card. Before we do that, give me a like and subscribe if you would, because we're really close to a milestone. Let's see, we're only 4,000 away. So within this month, I'll do a bonus Q&A reading. For all my members, you'll get a chance to ask questions. Everybody gets a chance to show up and participate. All right, if you'd like to follow me on social media, I'd love to have you there. I always recap and remind you of future videos. Remember that I don't give any sort of private readings and I don't use messaging services. There are a bunch of imposters out there. I'm doing my best to kind of like keep them away, but they always pop back up. If you want to show some love and support, you can do it right now through Super Sticker, Super Chat, or later by hitting the thanks button. All right, let's focus on the meditation right now. For today's meditation, I really want to help you get into that energy of birthing, releasing, and putting something out into that world. So we see here this ability to create something new, and I really, really, really love the Sun card. With this Sun card, we can see this new horizon. So let's imagine that you're looking through a crystal ball that you're holding in your hand, and it's just like we saw there. You can kind of see the outline of something new coming in. And I really want you to envision something beautiful. Focus your energy on painting the scene. What does it look like? How do you feel? And really believing in two things here, which is not only is this about to happen, but you are also a manifesting agent in this. So you are co-creating something, and it's a reality that you're just waiting to catch up to. So focus on seeing the future state. Let's meditate, and then we'll read the final card. Taking a deep breath, go ahead and bring that crystal ball close to your heart. Allow for that energy to really meld into your auric field, and trust now that you are ready to receive all of this or greater in divine timing for your highest good. All right. Take a couple of deep breaths, coming back into your mind, coming back into your body. You can wake yourself up a little bit and get ready for the final card by rubbing your hands together, placing them on top of your heart, and taking a couple of nice deep breaths. When you're ready, focus now on the final card. Open your eyes if you haven't already, and ask that question to yourself, to your higher self, to the guides. Let's see what the universe wants to show us. Ooh, we got the Empress. She's upright too, which is good. All right, so it's a yes. And the Empress card is a birthing card. She is upright, which shows that the time is now. So there may have been delays, there may have been setbacks in the past, but this is one of the best cards, especially coupled with this for manifestation. Notice how all of this, this particular artist kind of has a fluidity to the lines. So a big part of this is about going with the flow. We also see a seasonality here with this Empress. We're on the precipice of spring, right? It's a couple weeks away. And in the Southern Hemisphere, fall. But with this season change that's coming through, so ostensibly by the time this is happening in April, you should start to see growth and movement in this part of your life that you want to see it. So the Empress is the boss. She is about taking control, taking the reins. She is also about letting go of something and really kind of allowing for something new to come in. So we have it here in these two cards here, really allowing for a shift to happen and a rebirthing or a reimagining. And it's a new cycle here, as we see with the Ouroboros. So this is a pivotal month for you, actually. A little bit of a timeline thing for some of you where you're slowing down for a bit, but then once things expand, once things kick off, they do so in a pretty big way. So keep me posted throughout the month and let me know how things go with you. Hope you enjoyed today's reading. It was magical. It was kind of nice to do. It's a different energy when I do it on a full moon. I definitely feel and see a lot more. So thank you so much for allowing me to do that. All right, let's take a moment here just to say thanks. Thanks to everybody that showed up, whether it's your first time or you've been watching me for a few years. I'm so happy that you made some time today, especially I had to shift it around. So I'm glad you found me at the timeline the time that I did it. So thank you. Let's say a couple quick notes to the newest members. Let's see, we have Joan, Lori, Francine, Queen of Speed, Andrea, Dr. Carol as well. All of these are the newest ones. I think we had a couple of anniversaries here. I'm looking in the chat. So Tahoe, thank you so much for 19 months. I appreciate that. You're amazing. And you're always so generous with everyone else. And Jill Sheets, thank you for the 7 months as well. And a quick thank you to those that gave back with super stickers or super chat, and then we'll wrap up for today. Super chat and super stickers today, we have 2. So Renita, thank you so much for kicking things off today. And Diana, good to see you again. And you're welcome. I'm always pleased to be here and happy to make an impact and a difference. A reminder of my schedule, this was an atypical broadcast day. I'm usually live every Monday, Thursday, and Friday, unless otherwise advertised on my main page. I do daily reads. I also do a weekly one. You can check that out. It's usually the pinned one on the main channel page as well. And we have a couple special things coming up. Like I said, I'm going to do a Q&A as soon as I hit the milestone. If I have the energy in me today, I may do a new full moon rather. And there's more things to come. So please stay connected here. And probably I'll do something on the first day of spring as well. So just keep your eyes focused on the main channel and subscribe if you haven't already. Everybody take care of yourself. Have a great month. Remember to slow down, be present, and to celebrate every moment. All right. Good to be here, and I appreciate all of you. Until I see you again, take care. Bye-bye.